Welcome to Dog Facts and Fun, where every fact hides a story of love. In this video, we'll explore the mystery behind one simple question. Why does your dog stare at you? Maybe it's love, maybe it's need, or maybe it's something far more powerful than we ever imagined. Have you ever felt those eyes fixed on you? Calm, patient, almost human. It's not just a look. It's communication, the quiet language between two souls who share a home, a life, a heartbeat. Scientists say that when your dog locks eyes with you, something changes inside both of you, a bond invisible but real. And sometimes, that look carries a truth we can't afford to ignore. Let's find out what your dog is really trying to say. Number 1, love that needs no words. Sometimes the answer is the simplest one. Your dog stares at you because they love you. Not the loud kind of love, not jumping or barking. This love is quieter, deeper, still. Scientists have found that when dogs and humans share eye contact, both bodies release a special hormone, the same one between a mother and child. It's called oxytocin. It builds trust and softens fear. When your dog looks into your eyes, they're not just looking, they're connecting. For many older adults, that gaze becomes more than affection. It's comfort, it's company. It's the warm reminder you are not alone in this house. Your dog doesn't need to speak. They just look. And in that moment, they say everything. Picture this. You're sitting with a cup of tea, the house is quiet, and you feel a little ache inside. They come close, rest their chin near you, and just stare. It's not to ask, it's to stay. To say, I'm here. You matter. But as gentle as that stare is, not every look means love. Sometimes, the eyes that once felt warm begin to feel different. Longer, harder, less relaxed. That's when you need to ask yourself, is my dog watching me with love? Or is there something more they're trying to say? We'll talk about that in just a moment. Number 2, the emotional mirror. Have you ever felt like your dog knows when something's off? You don't speak. You don't cry. But somehow, they sense it. And then they just sit and stare. Dogs are emotional mirrors. Studies show they can read our body language, facial expressions, even changes in heart rate. They recognize sadness long before we say a word. And sometimes their eyes stay on us not to ask, but to reflect. That stare in those moments isn't about them. It's about you. They're watching your silence, listening to your stillness. For someone living alone, those eyes can feel like the only ones that see you fully. When you're strong for everyone else but feel broken inside, your dog notices and stares, as if asking, do you want me to stay a little longer? You may brush it off as a coincidence, but for them, it's instinct. You are their person, and they'll watch you until they feel you're okay again. Picture this. You sit down, tired. You think no one sees it, but they do. They lay nearby, eyes fixed, waiting, not moving, not blinking, just being with you in the only way they know how. But what if that stare doesn't go away? What if it's longer than usual, harder to explain, and carries a question you haven't answered? Sometimes your dog isn't just reading you. They're waiting for you to read them. And that moment, we'll explore next. Number 3, when they're trying to tell you something. Not every stare is emotional. Sometimes it's practical. Your dog may be looking at you because they need something, and you're the only one who can help. Dogs have learned over time that humans respond to gaze. Studies show they use it intentionally to ask, to point, to guide. When words don't work, they use their eyes. You've seen it. The stare that comes before a walk, or the look that shifts from you to the empty food bowl. and back again. That's not coincidence, that's communication. This isn't manipulation. It's trust. They believe you'll understand. And so, they look. And for someone who spends most of their time at home, that little exchange becomes a language of its own. No barking, no jumping. Just gaze. Simple, silent, honest. Picture this. You're reading the newspaper. Your dog walks in, sits quietly, and stares, then glances toward the door, then back to you. No sound, just a look, like saying, "Can we go?" But sometimes they stare and don't look away. They don't point. They don't move. They just fix on you. That's when the question changes. Because maybe it's not about going outside. Maybe it's not about dinner. Maybe it's something deeper. And if you don't recognize it in time, you might miss something your dog truly needs. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Number 4. The pain. They can't say. Sometimes that stare isn't love or need. It's pain. But your dog has no words, only eyes. Studies show dogs in discomfort often stare at their owners more. Not because they expect a fix, but because you're their safe place. They look to you when they hurt and don't know what else to do. It might be subtle. They sit still. Their body's quiet. Their eyes stay on you, longer than usual. Like they're trying to ask for something they don't know how to say. And if you're over 60, you might understand this kind of silence better than most. Sometimes pain is quiet, and sometimes love makes you hide it, even from those who care. Your dog may be limping slightly, eating a little less. But the stare, that's often the first clue. Picture this. You notice your dog watching you from the hallway. Not moving, just watching. You call out. No tail wag. No steps forward. Just eyes still steady. Tired. They're not trying to alarm you. They're trying to hold on. And they don't want to do it alone. The hard part is, we often mistake that gaze for peace. But behind those eyes, there could be arthritis, an infection, or something worse. And if the stare feels longer than it used to, if it feels heavier, it might be time to listen with more than your ears. Because the next kind of stare doesn't just come from pain. It comes with age. And it's the one we'll explore next. Number 5. The senior dog warning with age comes change. In people and in dogs. But unlike us, they can't tell us when something inside starts slipping. So they stare. Veterinarians have seen it often. Older dogs who suddenly pause and gaze into space. Eyes wide, unfocused, distant, like they've forgotten where they are or why they were moving. This isn't daydreaming. It could be early signs of canine cognitive dysfunction, a form of dog dementia, confusion, anxiety, silent frustration, all hidden behind a long, empty stare. You might think it's just age, but that look, that's your cue. It says, "I'm not sure what's happening, but I trust you'll keep me safe." And for anyone who's cared for an aging parent, you know that look. The fear, the flicker of being lost inside a place that once felt like home. That same stare now in the eyes of your best friend. Picture this. It's late evening. You're cleaning up the kitchen. You turn, and your old dog is standing in the hallway, facing the wrong direction. Eyes fixed on nothing. You call them. They blink, then wander off like nothing happened. Don't ignore that moment. Don't call it just old age. It may be, but it also may not. And if it is, they still need help navigating this next chapter. Because the look of confusion can so easily turn into the look of fear. And no dog should have to feel that alone, especially when in the next moment they might be staring not because they're lost, but because they're trying to protect you. We'll get into that next. Number 6. A signal just for you. Not every stare is about them. Sometimes it's about you, and sometimes it's a warning one only they can sense. There are dogs trained to detect seizures, drops in blood sugar, even heart issues. But even untrained dogs, especially those close to you, can notice changes before you do. They smell it, feel it, sense the shift. And often they tell you the only way they know how, by staring. It's not panic. It's not fear. It's pure instinct. They look at you because something feels wrong, and they care. For many older adults, this moment gets overlooked. Fatigue is common. Dizziness comes and goes. But your dog, they notice the difference between routine tired and something's not right. Picture this. You're sitting in your favorite chair. You feel fine, maybe just a little lightheaded. Your dog walks over, stands still, and stares. No bark, no paw, just eyes, unmoving, focused, unblinking. They won't stop watching, because they're waiting for you to respond, waiting for a sign that you're okay. Sometimes they'll lick your hand, or whine, or gently push against you. And sometimes they'll just stare, hoping you'll feel it too. These are not just clever dogs. They're protectors. And for some people, this kind of silent signal has meant the difference between danger and being saved in time. But how do you tell when that stare is a sign and when it's a trick? Because sometimes your dog is watching you to train you. Let's talk about that next. Number 7. When they're training you. Yes, sometimes it's not you training your dog. It's them training you. And that stare, it's their favorite tool. Over time, dogs learn what works. They figure out that looking at you with soft eyes, maybe a slight head tilt, gets them what they want. A treat, a spot on the couch, a second dinner. Studies show dogs are skilled observers. They notice cause and effect. They stare, and if you respond even once, they remember. And they'll try it again. You may laugh and call it puppy eyes, but it's smarter than you think. That gaze is a strategy, a silent request wrapped in charm. And for many of us, especially those living alone, it's hard to say no to those eyes. They're cute, they feel good, and they remind us we're needed. Picture this. It's late. You're on the couch, eating a snack. You look over, and there they are. Still, staring. Eyes wide, just enough sparkle to make you melt. You give in. Just a bite. Just this once. But next time, they'll remember. And the stare will come faster. And stay longer. It doesn't mean they're bad. It means they've learned how to speak your language and use it well. But what happens when the stare doesn't ask for food or affection, when it's not soft or playful or sweet? What if it's blank, distant, as if they're looking past you? We'll explore that next. Number 8. Staring into nothing. There's a different kind of stare, one that doesn't look at you but through you. It's quiet, still, and unsettling. Some dogs suddenly stop and stare at walls, or corners, or into the air, not blinking, not reacting, just frozen. Experts believe this could be linked to neurological issues, seizures, OCD, even early signs of brain tumors. These aren't dramatic symptoms, they start small, like silence that lasts too long. This isn't a game. This isn't a signal for food or a walk. It's a moment where your dog drifts, and something inside them gets stuck. If you've ever watched your dog like that, you know the feeling. A little knot in your stomach, a whisper of worry, because it just doesn't feel right. Picture this. It's afternoon. Your dog walks into the room, then stops. stares at the same spot on the wall. 5 seconds. 10. Maybe longer. You call their name nothing. Then they blink, look around, and carry on like nothing happened. It's easy to shrug it off. We all zone out. But dogs don't stare into space without reason. And the reason might be inside something we can't see. Yet, these moments are warnings. And the more they happen, the more you should pay attention. Especially when they happen often. Or feel colder, emptier. Because sometimes they're not staring into space. They're staring into something you can't see. And in our final story, we'll go there together. Number 9, the unseen behind the eyes. And then there's the stare we can't explain. Not love, not pain, not even illness. Just stillness. Like they see something you can't. Something you're not meant to see. Many dog owners talk about this. Their dog's suddenly freezing eyes locked on a corner, a hallway, the air. No noise, no movement, but something holds their gaze. Science gives us a few answers. Dogs hear and smell far beyond what we can. Maybe it's a distant sound, a scent we missed, a vibration in the floor. Maybe it's nothing, but for some people, it's more. You may believe in energy, in presence, in the quiet spaces where memory still lingers, and your dog with their open senses and honest hearts might just be tuned into it. Picture this, you're alone. It's quiet. Your dog lifts their head, stares toward the door, ears still, body calm, like someone just walked in, but no one's there. It gives you chills, or comfort, maybe both. Because if dogs can feel what we can't, then maybe they also carry what we've let go. A lost loved one, a moment not yet finished, a goodbye that needed to happen. Their eyes become a bridge between now and something deeper. And maybe, just maybe, it's their way of saying you're not alone in this room, and you never were. So now, what do we do with all these stares? Let's find out together. Now, when your dog looks at you, you won't see just a stare. You'll see a question, a memory, a message without sound. Maybe it's love. Maybe it's pain. Maybe it's something only they can feel and only you can answer. Because dogs don't stare for no reason. They stare because they're connected. To us. To what we show. And sometimes, to what we hide. Each glance carries a little truth. Sometimes simple, sometimes sacred, but never meaningless. So the next time your dog looks up at you, slow down. Look back. And listen. You might be hearing something you were never meant to miss. If this video helped you feel a little closer to your best friend, give it a like. Share it with someone who loves their dog the way you do. And don't forget to subscribe, because here at Dog Facts and Fun, we don't just explain behaviors, we tell the stories behind the eyes. And now it's your turn. What does your dog's stare mean? Tell us below. We're listening.